Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Appeal Court upholds Senator Ademola Adeleke's candidacy in the 2018 governorship election in Osun State, says the PDP candidate possessed the basic qualification of a school certificate. House of Representatives asked President Buhari to rescind the executive order revoking gun licenses across the country. The economy comes under focus as we continue our assessment of President Buhari's administration in the past 4 years and the issues to be tackled in his second term. And 7 Southern Korean tourists die, 21 others missing at boat capsizes on the Danube River in Budapest, Hungary. For more information on our top stories and others, please visit our website, channelstv.com. YouTube.com/channelsweb has videos of our shows. Also watch Channels Television's live stream on YouTube and other social media platforms using your mobile device browser, or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app has an eyewitness feature that you can use to share pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, tap and swipe to reveal the menu, and please follow the instructions. Now let's take a look at some of those pictures that were sent in to us today. Good news, as residents of Falolu in Surulere, Lagos State, commend the state government for the ongoing rehabilitation of this road in their area. Still in Lagos State is this next set of photos showing the dilapidated state of Pastor Adegboyega Memorial School in Ketu, Lagos State. Our eyewitness says he wants the state government to fix the structure. Our final photo shows residents of Ofada in Ogun State protesting power outage for over 11 months now. They are asking the authorities responsible to intervene. For those pictures, thanks a lot, and to send us some more. Nigeria's economy recorded some gains under the first 4 years of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, but there's more work to be done to consolidate on those gains and attract foreign direct investment. In this report, our business news editor, Bosun Omofaye, takes a look at some of the milestones and the public's expectations for the next 4 years.
President Muhammadu Buhari's first election in 2015 and his re-election in 2019 were hinged on 3 pillars of anti-corruption, insecurity, and the economy. Riding now into another 4 years in the saddle, anti-corruption and insecurity have combined and embedded into the broad economy, forming the defining identity of the Buhari's administration. As the president begins another term in office, they discuss about the state of the economy, business and investment, and the financial markets have become more stringent and urgent than ever before. One of the president's economic managers believes the administration is on course.
The Federal Executive Council is most encouraged by the fact that growth continues to be driven by the non-oil sector, which affects most of our population. Also, agriculture grew by 3.17%, and this represents the strongest growth in agriculture since the fourth quarter 2017.
For the private sector, the government has managed to score some points, such as navigating the brutal foreign exchange market downturn of 2015 and the attendant economic recession of 2016.
We need to mainstream the private sector players. I mean, we have a procurement policy, for instance. We have presidential executive orders that talks about the fact that agencies of government should patronize what is made in Nigeria and all of that. But how much of that is being enforced?
But if President Buhari's mantra about corrupt practices of the previous government and the poor handling of insecurity in the north was anything to go by, today he faces the same challenges that are earning his administration some hard knocks. President Buhari is confronting a much weaker Boko Haram insurgency, but a new wave of bloody communal clashes and banditry in the country's food basket, putting pressure on agricultural output and the economy.
The MPC called for a close monitoring of the uptick in inflationary pressures in April 2019, driven largely by food shortages during the Easter season, the commencement of the planting season, as well as persistent security challenges in some of the food-producing regions of the country.
President Buhari can beat his chest in a number of areas that include social investment programs, nearly 5 trillion naira spending on road and belt infrastructure, fiscal prudence, and payment of salaries and pensions. However, massive unemployment remains. Sustainable electricity still a pipe dream, combining with weak real productivity and sluggish purchasing power, all together increasing the misery index. Looking towards 2023, President Buhari's government will also have to work hard to secure billions of dollars in both local and foreign investments, urgently required to set the economy on a path of sustainable and inclusive growth beyond oil. Bosun Omofaye, Channel Television News.
Now, to discuss the economy in the next 4 years, I'm being joined live from Abuja by the team lead of Sustainable Entrepreneurship and Economic Development Initiative, Mr. Celestine Okeke. Thanks a lot for joining us on the news at 10. Now, the economy was one of the...
Thank you for having me. Good evening.
You're welcome. The economy was one of the key areas this administration campaigned about, even for the re-election bid as well. What do you make of the handling of the sector the past 4 years?
Okay, I'll draw more on how the administration handled the sector as regards small businesses, micro, small, and medium enterprises. I wouldn't speak more to the larger corporation because, in my opinion and in my organization's opinion, they do very little to contribute to economic growth in Nigeria because most of the capital they bring in are imported capital, and they often repatriate their profits back home. So my concern is on the small, micro, small, medium enterprises that are the key drivers of the Nigerian economy. And in the last 4 years, a lot of steps have been taken by administration, especially in regards ease of doing business, and they scored some very good points in that regard. But then the challenges that small businesses are faced with in Nigeria transcends and goes beyond ease of doing business, as been addressed by the administration in the last 4 years. They are deep-rooted and deep-seated. I'll give you an instance in the agri sector. Across 36 states plus FCT in Nigeria, we still have the issue of access to quality seed for agriculture, for farmers in Nigeria. And if you bear in mind that 80% of the farmers in Nigeria are smallholder farmers, they produce 90% of the food that we consume in Nigeria, and that these smallholder farmers do an average of 0.5 hectare, it then calls to mind that we need to quickly begin to think of how to address the challenges agriculture is faced in Nigeria. So my concern, like I said, is on the small business sector in Nigeria, because that is where we can drive growth, that's where we can drive employment, that's where we can drive sustainable economic development for Nigeria. And in that regard, the administration needs to double its effort. The ease of doing business the World Bank defined for us is not the type we need in Nigeria. And let me explain that. Ease of registration is not the challenge for the guy who produces your shoe, your belt, your leather works in Aba. Neither is it for the guy who is in Lagos doing small-scale industrial concern. That's not his challenge. His challenge is how he can source his raw materials at the right price and be able to transport it from the source where he is getting it to the source where he needs to produce from, and to be able to improve his production techniques such that his cost of production will reduce. So when we focus so much on being scored by World Bank or whether we're improving or not, we then lose sight of the fact that our challenges are peculiar and they are not in line with what World Bank wants to score us on.
All right, sorry to have to cut in there. I know you're talking about small businesses as it affects the economy. At least those are people who are even at work. But if you look at the administration's macroeconomic scorecard, the numbers are not growing for those who are not even at work, looking at unemployment, underemployment, and inflationary pressures, etc. What should be done in that regard? Because whenever the government talks about its gains, people point to those unemployment figures.
Yeah, we published a report on the 22nd of May, last week, Wednesday, and the report is State of Youth Unemployment in Nigeria. And I will tell you, as at third quarter 2018, youth unemployment is standing at 54.3%, which says half the Nigerian labor force is are unemployed. And across the entire 36 states in Nigeria, youth unemployment between end of 2017 and third quarter 2018 increased. It rose across every state in Nigeria. Not one state was able to address or drop youth unemployment. So if you look at it, both at the federal and at the state level, national and subnational level, not much has been done to address the kind of youth unemployment challenge we have in Nigeria. And I keep saying this, if we focus so much on foreign direct investment, foreign flow of capital and the rest, these guys who come in from the Western world are coming in to invest in capital-intensive industries. And capital-intensive industries do not employ so much persons. You have a machine that does the job of 20, 30, 40 persons. So we need to go back to the drawing board and say, look, how are we going to address, for instance, in Lagos State, you have over 1 million unemployed youth in Lagos State. What can we do to quickly address this number? Because
yes, and as you're talking about what we can do, apologies again, as you're talking about what we can do, quickly now, of course, we're actually racing for time. How quickly would you want to see a fresh team put together by the president or the administration to tackle the average man scorecard, which is like rising food prices? How quickly would you want to see a team put in place?
As of yesterday, May 29th, right after the inauguration, I expected the next thing that will follow through will be calling out the team that will address the economic challenges we are faced in Nigeria. Not after May 29, not 1 week after, not 1 month after, on that same day of the inauguration. All
right, thank you so much, Mr. Okeke. He's the team lead of Sustainable Entrepreneurship and Economic Development Initiative. Thanks a lot for sharing those thoughts on the news at 10 tonight. Well, for me A former presidential candidate of the Allied Congress Party of Nigeria in the 2019 elections, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, has been reviewing the activities of the Buhari administration over the last 4 years and is advising on what needs to be done in the second term. Dr. Ezekwesili, who is a former vice president of the World Bank, is asking the government to overhaul the economy and energize the private sector because that is what she would do if she were president. Dr. Ezekwesili was a guest on our political program, Politics Today.
Economy is a complete disaster. What has happened since the government came into office has been a decline. First, we went into a recession and went into negative 1.8% growth, of GDP growth. Then we came out of 0.8 growth, and then we climbed into 2.38. Now we're at 2.01. So what it means is that as these lower levels of growth, GDP growth rate are going on, and our population rate is steady at above 2%, almost 3%, we actually are getting poorer. Economic policy has to signal immediately to the market that we will be a government that enables and supports the private sector to do what it must do, while we would invest in the most significant area of human development, health and education, because we need a productive citizenry.
When the news at 10 returns, National Industrial Court orders the immediate reinstatement of suspended Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Munir Gwarzo. That's on Business News. Stay with us.